Namaste.
Namaste.
By the way, guys, Dharmendra ji is our beloved Guru Bhai, and he's an angel to all GuruSiyag beginners, right? He's by profession he was a corporate trainer, and he of course he does training in spirituality also. Those who comes as a beginner to Guru Siyag Yoga, which we already did a podcast before. In
Right.
fact, Dharmendra ji has podcasted me way back in 2021, which is their part of this playlist in my channel. So he's been, a good trainer, a good mentor for the new sadhaks and the old sadhaks also in Guru Siyag Parampara. Would you want to add something to it, sir?
Well, where I am now,
Mhm,
I'm
mhm,
into corporate training programs, coaching,
mhm,
and psychometric assessments. I'm expert in all these things. Over the years, I have been doing this.
mhm,
But somehow in 2017, I got in touch with one of my old professors without any reason. Just, wanted to meet him. And I went to meet him. He was in Jaipur. He belongs to Bikaner, and he is the older disciple of Guru Siyag. His name
mhm,
is Professor Pankaj Goswami. He's a retired professor now. So he was visiting Jaipur, and I happened to meet him. That was Sunday, um, around third week of September,
mhm,
and we just kept on communicating. We just kept on conversing on various topics. He used to travel to US because his sons are living there, their families are there. So every 2 3 years he used to travel, so we were just exchanging notes. And all of a sudden something came about spirituality or religion or God, and I was not a good fan of a god per se, because I never had many experiences, but only one experience I had, which I shared with him, that that proves that God exists and there is an entity called God. So Professor Pankaj Goswami realized that probably this is a right disciple for Gurudev Siyag to initiate him.
mhm,
That was the first introduction with Guru Siyag. And though no initiation happened that day because it was Sunday, and generally Gurudev used to give that initiation mantra on Thursdays.
mhm,
But somehow, all 3 hour conversation with him was fabulous. It was fantastic and kind of, a turning point in my life. I realized myself that, something has changed in me. I don't know what.
So, so let me break you there. So, this you are saying your conversation with Mr. Pankaj Goswami, not with Gurudev directly.
Not with Gurudev, not with
Okay,
Gurudev.
okay. Mhm,
Yeah, and I had no idea whether Gurudev is, living in Jaipur, living in Jodhpur, living in Bikaner, or where Gurudev is.
mhm,
But Pankaj Goswami ji kept on telling me about the Kundalini awakening by Guru Siyag, and only looking at his picture will awaken the Kundalini. And interestingly, he didn't have any picture of Guru Siyag at that time, but
mhm.
I just heard him about Guru Siyag.
Okay.
And all those things which he mentioned were kind of pretty fascinating in this materialistic world where experiencing God becomes so simple.
Mhm,
Without much efforts, one can experience God. That actually gave me some hint or some idea, or there was some internal motivation or intrinsic motivation in me, whether I should try it or not, and I did. So at the end of that conversation, I asked him, "Can I also have the mantra which you say that can awaken the Kundalini instantly?" Because I have heard that Kundalini awakening is not so easy. That
yeah.
was my bookish knowledge and the experience of others. But
Mhm.
this was a very different experience altogether. So that motivated me further, and I wanted to practice it myself.
But let me add something more to it, sir. See, as far as my experience with Guru Siyag Yoga, I don't see this is a mechanism of raising your kundalini instantly. Rather, it has its own intelligence, and it will see what the sadhak needs. That's why Gurudev, he calls it as automatic yoga. So what that particular sadhak and where is his energy stands, accordingly it raises, and it is not to be considered as an instant energy booster or something like that. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Go on, sir.
I
Yeah.
also used to think that way earlier, but
Hmm.
probably I may have a different opinion now after 7 years.
Hmm.
Nowadays, what is happening that even if we are communicating, even if we are just talking about Guru Siyag, the Kundalini is awakened just by talking about Guru Siyag, not showing any picture, not even giving the mantra, just
Hmm.
simply talking about Guru Siyag, the Kundalini is awakened. And the proof of that awakened Kundalini is experienced when we sit down for meditation. So, why I'm saying so, and this is all coming from my personal experiences and the
Hmm.
experiences of others. Moreover, my own experiences are, speaking from my body that
Hmm.
way.
Hmm.
That I just share one example that I went to a haircut salon,
True.
and there was a guy who was, doing haircut for me, and he was, applying some bindi here and here, and I just simply asked which god you follow.
Just
So
be
that was my
curious.
question. That was my question to him. So
Hmm.
he said that he follows Lord Hanuman, like Bajrang Bali,
Hmm.
and that's why he applied that
Yeah.
tilak here on the third eye and here on the
Orange color.
Vishuddhi
Yeah.
chakra.
Hmm.
So I said, "Have you seen Bajrang Bali?" So he started laughing at me. He said, "It's not possible to see God unless we die." I said, "But it's not that difficult. You can experience God. What if you see Bajrang Bali? Will you be scared?" Then he started laughing again. I said, "Well, why are you laughing? I'm telling you a serious thing. Once you finish with the haircut, I'll help you with. Would you be okay if I help you, if I ask you to sit down for meditation for 10 minutes?" He said, "Sure, I will." Then, he finished the haircut, he cleaned his hand and sat down on his sofa. And his owner was sitting outside the shop. And he said, "My owner would come." I said, "Don't worry about your owner. I know your owner as well. You just
Hmm.
sit down and you just look at my face. And you remember my face now?" He said, "Yes." So I said, "Just close your eyes and focus on the third eye area and request, simply request, if Dharmendra Sharma's Guru is omnipresent or enlightened Guru, then I should be able to concentrate here for 10 minutes in meditation." And then I told him to chant Bajrang Bali
Hmm.
mentally. So he started. In 3 minutes or so, somebody came in the shop. So the door was kind of, cranky. So it had a sound.
Thank,
So
thank God. Yeah.
that guy got out of meditation.
Hmm.
But in those 3 minutes, he said that he has hangover as if, he had consumed 2 bottles of liquor. I said, "But
Yeah.
I didn't offer you anything. In 3 minutes, I just told you, just look at that." So when he was standing up, he was not able to stand well because he was like kind of shaking. So he said, "Who you are?" Then I said, "I'm the disciple of Guru Siyag, and my Guru Siyag is omnipresent and enlightened Guru." I
Hmm.
didn't tell him, neither I told him the name of Guru Siyag,
Okay. Okay.
nor I gave him the picture, which I generally carry,
Hmm.
or the mantra.
I see what you say.
This, this is the quality of an omnipresent Guru, a true Guru.
Okay. Okay. So, coming back to your entry, which you were you were just about to say that. Uh, so how what was the entry like as a beginner? You said,
Yeah.
okay, you have spoken to your mentor, and he introduced you to Guru Siyag Yoga, and you just entered. And what was your initial few years, and what was your entry look like?
Yeah, I'll come back to the few years later, but I'll tell you what happened after that, instantly
Mhm.
after that. In those 3 hour conversation, Pankaj sir must have, mentioned the name of Guru Siyag several times. But when I asked him to give me the mantra, I also want to practice. Then he said, Guruji gives this mantra on Thursdays only,
Thursdays. Yeah.
and I'm going back to Bikaner tonight. And you can call me on Thursday. I'll tell you the mantra.
Mhm.
I said, sure. Because in spiritual practices, you can't force someone. It's a humble request. It's a,
Yeah. Yeah.
surrendering yourself and your ego in the lotus feet of Guru. So he was merely an instrument, but whatever instrument was speaking was the voice of Guru. So I came out from his home. I, went back into my car and stopped my car for a while just to have a, puff. And then I thought, what was the name of that guru? I forgot the name.
Mhm.
And I just, kept on thinking, but it was not coming to my mind because it was not supposed to come before Thursday. But those 4 days from Sunday till Thursday morning were very difficult for me to live without Guru.
Mhm.
So I had Guru's, the glory of Guru, the quality of Guru, the energy of Guru, but I forgot the name. Neither I had mantra nor the picture.
Mhm.
Thursday morning, I woke up early and I told my wife that, I'll be starting a new practice of meditation. And she was laughing. She said, you keep on experimenting with a lot of things. Generally, you don't last long in all such practices. I said, no, no, this will be a good one because I have this gut feeling. So Thursday morning, I messaged Pankaj Goswami, sir, when can I call you, sir? So he wrote back saying that, I'm a free man, I'm a retired person. Anytime you can call me, I'm available. You might have to go to office. I said, no, but I'll call you at 9:30 in the morning. So I did. And I got ready by that time, took shower and, mentally prepared
Mhm.
to experience whether we have these automatic yoga in our body or not. Because without our brain's order, how
Conscious.
can one experience automatic yoga? So, so I talked to Pankaj sir, and he told me the mantra by himself. And then he said, and I was sitting on a, table, and laptop was in front of me. I was talking to him. And then he said, you search Gurudev Ramlalji Siyag or Gurudev Siyag on YouTube, you would find one or two videos of his initiation mantra. Then you can just correct the middle word. So I quickly typed on YouTube GuruSiyag, and I saw a list of videos. The first video I just looked at, there was a thumbnail of GuruSiyag. So the moment I saw that thumbnail, and there was a feeling from inside that, oh, I know this Guru for so many
For
births,
so many
so
years.
many lives. So that was unusual, for a corporate person like me. But
Okay.
that happened.
One
That
of
was an
one of my
opportunity.
question is that the
Yeah.
karmic connections. Maybe we
Yeah.
can come into that a little
Right.
later. So, so the few years, how it transformed. So you initially started an immediate connection,
Right.
and the karmic connection and all we can come a little later. So
Sure.
how it
Sure.
transformed that years? I'm sure you will be having some kind of a
A
transformation
lot
in
of
your life.
experience had happened over the years.
Hmm.
In initial few months, I had a lot of spiritual experiences and also involuntary movements in my body, particularly in those parts where some cure was needed. And one day I had a very heavy kind of the energy flow was so full that my mouth got open and head was shaking like
Yeah.
anything. I thought it will break. but within 15 minutes it stopped. So that was one of the yogic movement experiences. That is an extreme of it. But spiritual experience wise, I had a lot of interactions with Guru Siyag during the state of meditation. And one in one of the incidents, Gurudev told me that, so you are here, right? I said, yes, Gurudev. And he said, but you are a little late. As if, we are, Guru and disciple are talking to each other during the
So this
meditation.
is all telepathically
Yes.
happening.
Yeah, it was actually, it's visible on the
It's
third
in
eye.
your mind. Yeah.
So I'm sitting in front of Gurudev, and Gurudev is saying that you came late. So I
Yeah.
said, Gurudev, but you didn't, call me earlier.
Mm.
So he said, okay, now you are here. Until the last breath, you will be with me. So that was one experience. And on the first day of my experience, when I did meditation for 15 minutes, I had, vibration on my right hip because that was having some, kind of
Issues. Mm.
issues there. So after the meditation, my wife told me just to pick up kids from the school because it was, early day for them. So I was driving my car. I'm not a good driver at all, but that day car was being driven very well. So
Yeah.
I had this
I felt
thought
this
as I
initially.
was going alone,
Mm.
and I told Gurudev, or I simply made a statement to Gurudev. Gurudev, are you driving my car? So Gurudev,
Mm.
replied in my mind before my mind actually construct any thought, yes or no. I just got a kind of, zip zap response, yes, I'm driving your car. So then I requested Gurudev, for the whole life, you will drive my car, Gurudev. And the response was, yes, of course I will. So
Yeah.
that was the beginning of my journey with Guru Siyag.
Okay.
A lot of other experiences, like, um, having a scene created in front of me where I am, as a little boy, going with Guru Siyag on a planet or place which has snow only, the white and black snow. It's a kind of mix or gray snow, but
Thing.
that's
Yeah.
black and white snow,
Yeah.
and we are walking barefoot. So there is another girl besides Gurudev, and she's also like my age, maybe like 5 6 year children, and we both are holding the finger of Gurudev, and
Finger of Gurudev.
Gurudev is
Yeah.
taking us
Yeah.
there. And as long as I see the scenario or the view, I could see the very thin, very sharp edged snow mountains. As long as I see, I had never seen those in, I was not into meditation at all, to be very honest. But those were the experiences. And then I, just kept on observing, and Gurudev took us to a place where there is a, Vedika is created, and somebody is sitting there, and somebody said, Chaudhry Sahab, who are these kids you brought together? So Gurudev said, these kids, I wanted to show them the moon.
Who is Chaudhry Saab?
Chaudhry Sahab is Gurudev Siyag.
Okay.
That Chaudhry was his surname, and people used to, in his professional world, people used to call him Chaudhry Sahab or Bauji.
So the full name is Ramlal Ji Siag, right?
Gurudev Ramlal Ji Siyag. Yeah,
Okay.
Siyag is a caste in Chaudhry community. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. So, what are your personal transformation and the professional transformation? I guess you were not retired at that time, right? When you
Yeah,
entered.
yeah. Yeah, I
So,
was 46 at that time. I'm 53 now.
mhm.
And I was in a job. I was working with an American company as Asia Pacific Learning and Development Director. And I continued with that job for a couple of years, even after that. The personal transformation, I realized that, there is no hurry in me now. There is, I am at peace, and there is no fear per se, or anger, or no anguish. Nothing of that sort remained in me. It was a complete transformation, so to speak. And all my professional circle, which knew me for my aggressiveness, that anywhere Dharmendra would go would actually bombard people with
mm,
questions, and he
mm,
would be very aggressive. So that calmness came all of a sudden. I don't know why, but it was prevailing in me, and till date it is. I used to take medicine for high blood pressure before starting practice in September 2017. But after 3 months or so, I gave up taking that medicine. The strip of that medicine remained in my uh,
Pattern.
pouch for a while, and that it ruined, and that threw it away.
Mm,
So after that, I haven't taken any medicine, any
okay.
medicine.
Okay.
Sometimes if I have any headache due to weather change or something like that, then probably one
Mm,
discipline or crocin I consume, but that's
mm,
rare. And one day I went to meet one of co-practitioners, like husband wife, both are doctors. The wife is a cancer specialist, and the husband is pediatric surgeon. They used to live in Jaipur, and one Sunday they invited me over lunch because they enjoy this Guru Charcha and the Guru
Satsang.
discourse.
Mm,
Yeah, so they invited me for lunch, and since they are doctor, they were living in an area where all these uh, labs are there for blood test and all. So on the floor, third or second floor, they were living, and on the ground floor, they were like test labs. So I jokingly told them, so why don't you invite these guys to take my blood test and check if I have any ailment or any health issues? So they took it seriously, and they just called that guy, and that guy came and took my blood sample, kind of, couple of bottles, small bottles he filled. And then I had lunch with both of them. Very good practitioners, I would say, one of them at least. And then I came back in the evening. The guru sister called me, said, Bhaiya, your report has come. She was kind of very serious. I said, okay. And what does that report say to you as a doctor? She said, I haven't seen any such report in my entire professional career where this report suggests that your hemoglobin level is like a newborn baby. It is 16.7 out of 17. That's the
mm,
highest rank. And all these possible parameters of blood test, including ELISA test and all parameters, I was perfect. So she was shocked. And I said, probably, all credit goes to my Gurudev, and he's sitting in me. And all this regular practice of meditation, which I do 15 minutes in the morning and evening, I can skip lunch or dinner, but I cannot skip my meditation. So
mm.
that was probably due to that.
Okay. So, did you had any kind of bad habits before coming to Guru Siyag, and have you changed post
I
to?
had a smoking habit,
Mm,
so to speak, and that reduced greatly.
mhm, mhm. Okay.
I would say that I could not give up, or Gurudev, it's up to Gurudev when he wants me to quit.
For me, it instantly gone. Instant.
Uh, Instantly gone was, sometimes I was a social drinker in a way, like, if you are meeting some good friends or in a party, I used to drink. But after that, I didn't drink at all. I didn't
Mm.
feel the urge of drinking liquor
Mhm.
at all.
Same thing happened to me for both the
Yes,
cases.
yes,
You know very well,
right.
right?
Yeah,
It's been many years now.
yeah,
2012,
yeah.
13. Yeah.
And
So
of
come.
late,
Yeah.
yeah, of late, I realized that all these liquors, consumption of liquor, or excessive, kind of spicy food or non-vegetarian food and all. People have this craving for all these.
Hmm.
Of late, I found that people who are excessively drinking alcohol or addictive to alcohol or heroin or anything else are basically victims of
Spiritually.
uh, they are the victims of some negative spirits. And
Mhm.
I collected the proof of that, because all what I'm saying is based on my experiences and the proof I collected over the years. So, as Gurudev had also mentioned that, while Vivekananda was delivering a lecture in Chicago, and somebody, stood up and said that Swamiji, we will not have, kind of possible collaboration with you, because in India, people are more vegetarian, their preference is vegetarian, and here we are eating, non-vegetarian food, and we are alcoholic. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So Gurudev suggests that, and, he had said in the speeches also that, in the running speech, Vivekananda said that you don't need to give up the things will give you up.
Mhm.
So this was a very kind of, theory which Gurudev made it practical, that you don't need to give up the things. Whosoever is demanding from within will leave you. So there wouldn't be any demand. So it's not a matter of after effects of, consuming or not consuming alcohol or anything else, but it's a matter of demand and supply. So if there is no demand within, then there is no need to supply. Even if you supply, you would vomit. Like, if you send some letter to someone and the person is not living there, then it would return back to the post office. Similarly, it happens.
Okay.
So, giving an evidence to
Mhm.
substantiate what I'm saying. There is a guy who's also a practitioner, but not very sincere. Used to consume 4 liter whiskey per day, and he was in a bad shape. So another practitioner was going through, his town, and he thought to meet this fellow because both of them had worked in Navy earlier.
Mhm.
So the other guy called me and said, Dharmendra ji, he is our co-practitioner, and his wife is actually, requesting that, do something for this fellow, otherwise I will divorce him, because he is not caring anything about
Yeah.
us, and he starts his day with the, whiskey and ends with the whiskey. 4 bottles per day is a huge thing.
Yeah, that's a
So
lot
I
of
said, okay,
whiskey.
let me reach office, and then we had this, video call, like, StreamYard call. And I simply, asked that fellow to sit down for the meditation. And, I simply asked, who is demanding the liquor in him? And then, there was somebody speaking from him that, this is a curse on him, like, on this fellow of, alcoholic fellow. And they said, his forefathers had killed us and, put us under the sand and created a, temple over it, and this is a curse on
Yeah.
3 generations. We have killed, his father, his grandfather, and his grandfather's
Mhm.
father, with liver cirrhosis, and he will also die. I said he won't die now because he is practicing GuruSiyag yoga and he's chanting the mantra. It's a
Yeah.
simple 3 word mantra, and he's chanting no matter if he's regular or not. But you can't kill him that way.
So it was
Now,
karmic.
yeah, it is harming his life. So they acted like, there is more than one spirit in him, and I gave them the option that, either you seek salvation from Guru Siyag, because Guru Siyag can give salvation to
Mhm.
all spirits which never got salvation on this planet, and or you just, put into the fire well, for 5,000 years, whichever you like. So the moment they heard fire well, no, 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 please, we want salvation. So we
Mhm.
simply requested Guru Siyag, and we showed them the picture of Jamsar where the Dada Gurudev's Samadhi is there. We just told them, okay, you just go there now. And it doesn't require travel time, because spirits can travel anywhere,
Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all these spirits were ready to go. And then the other practitioner asked, how many of are you? So they said 17.
In
So
one
I
person.
jokingly told them that it's injustice to you all. Only 4 liter whiskey, even you didn't get a quarter of it. 17. It is lesser for you. What a shame on you. So
Mhm.
they said, no, no, we want to go for salvation. Just that was the day in August 2023. And till date, this fellow had not
Thank.
had taken any drop of whiskey. Or
Sir, for me, exactly same thing happened. You know,
yeah,
I was into a lot of these things till 2012, where I tried many times. I was so
Mhm.
addicted to all those things, and I've been continued that for about 20 years. And I know that it was not me who have stopped it.
Exactly.
I knew very well that it is not me that craving for it,
Yes,
something else.
there is
So I
something else.
exactly know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly know what you're saying.
So this is proven now. And earlier, Gurudev used to tell that, if you keep on chanting this mantra, even your neighbor would quit if he is alcoholic,
Hmm.
right? Now I know why and how it works because it's a spiritual science. So we must understand, how it works. How and why is the real reason for us to understand. Otherwise, we may be misled. So I collected the evidence for this time, and it's a recorded video. I cannot make it public for sure because that entity of that person is
Yes.
associated with it, and I cannot disclose the identity of that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, it was good enough example for me to experience that yes, these are the spirits, these are negative spirits somehow entered in us either through somebody offered us some food, some liquor or something else, and it's very easy for these
Some
spirits
kriyas.
to enter into us. So
Hmm.
if we keep on chanting the mantra regularly and the mantra becomes involuntary, or we call it ajapa,
Ajapa japa.
then there is no harm because our aura would be protected completely. But the impact of Guru Siyag's picture itself is so strong that even if you are just showing that picture to someone and you just tell that, just meditate, look at this picture, meditate and close your eyes and remember whatever name you want to remember of God, any one name, the person will start experiencing involuntary movements.